So you bought something from your supplier and your supplier is asking for payment, but they don't take card because they'll charge you and you don't want to pay for it with a card. But how do you send the payment? Is it via check, via transfer? And if it's via transfer, well, how do you do that? And again, this is a question I had when I was just starting out my business. And I thought I should do a video today on the best ways to send vendors payments. And so again, in this video, I'm going to be covering 5 ways you can send payments to suppliers, or the ways I send them to suppliers, whether they're domestically in the US or international, honestly. So feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And before we begin, again, help me by smashing that like button, subscribe. But other than that, let's go ahead and start. The first method I still will recommend is paying with a credit card if it's possible. Now, a lot of these suppliers won't ask or charge you a fee. So if that's the case, if your supplier says it's the same if you pay me with cash, check, or card, then pay with card because you could be getting rewards, right? So we could go into a whole different video and there's a whole universe as to what's the best business credit card out there. But in this, really in summary, I normally just have either the Chase Inc. business card, credit card, a Capital credit card, or the Amex credit card, the Platinum or whichever one. Just pay with a credit card and earn some points. Believe it or not, also paying with credit card could be the easiest choice around. Sometimes, it's just a lot easier to record, a lot easier to just do, and it can save you time when it comes to accounting and bookkeeping. The next option we have for sending payments to your suppliers is through Melio. So Melio is a platform owned by JP Morgan Chase as well. But I use Melio through an integration with QuickBooks. So QuickBooks recently integrated or launched a way for you to pay suppliers through their platform for free, and they're using Melio. So normally in QuickBooks, I'll just put my bill, I owe $3,000 to this supplier for whatever tires, and QuickBooks will allow me to schedule a payment, and I will just have to register, my account, put maybe the bank account information where the funds are going to be, withdrawn from, and then they also need the banking information of my supplier so that they can send the payment over. The best feature of all this is that it's free. So, and it's also not that hard to do. You just create your bill on QuickBooks and you just schedule a payment, and then that's it. It does take a little bit longer, so it does take anywhere between 5 to 7 days for your supplier to get that payment, but it's free and you don't have to do a paper check or do any of that stuff. So, I really, that's actually how I'm currently paying all of my domestic payments right now in the US. It's through Melio, and again, it's a great tool, but again, just keep that in mind. Moving on, the next way to pay your suppliers effectively is through a company called Wise Transfer, also formerly known as TransferWise. This company I didn't know about much until recently. Someone actually paid me using Wise Transfer, and I got the transfers pretty quick. I don't know exactly the fees because sometimes they can be a little tricky, but based on the research I did, TransferWise or Wise Transfer is free. So just keep that in mind that they don't work for certain states, and but it is worldwide. So you can actually send transfers over to companies or people all over the US and the world. And so it's still a good tool to investigate, in your journey. The next way to send money to your suppliers is through a wire transfer. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, what do you mean wire transfer? Wire transfers cost $45 or $35. Personally, I try to avoid them at all costs. But let me just tell you this real quick. For those of you first who don't know what a wire transfer is, there's 2 types of transfers in the banking business, we could call it, right? An ACH transfer and a wire transfer. An ACH transfer is like the one I was telling you before with Melio. Normally it's just transfer to transfer, right? They withdraw the funds, then there's like a house, like the way you see it is like it's slower and it just does the same thing, but it's slower. And then a wire transfer, it's a lot faster. So if you send money through a wire transfer, the other person should be getting the funds that same day, if you do it before the cutoff time of the bank. So normally it's like 1 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know in any other parts of the world, but maybe it's the same, just, adjust it. But at 1 p.m. Pacific time, you can't send more wire transfers. The funds are just gonna arrive until the following day. But wire transfers are a lot faster, and thus they do cost money. And so if I do a wire transfer through Wells Fargo, A domestic wire transfer, so a wire transfer from a US account to another US account will cost me around $45. If I do an international wire transfer, it's going to cost me $35. But recently, I opened up a bank account with Chase, and you guys might think I'm sponsoring Chase, but I'm not. I just actually want to just say what I'm doing right now, what has worked for me. But recently, I found out that Chase only charged me $5 to do a wire transfer, which is really good, actually. I have not yet found another company that charges less than $30 to do a wire transfer. And again, I'm not sure if it's just my account or if this is a one-time thing, but just keep that in mind. I'm paying $5 for a wire transfer, and I forgot if it was international. I think it's international, but I'm currently using Chase for wire transfers, and that's another way you could be paying your suppliers. Now the fifth and the last way I use to pay suppliers, now this fifth one is for me to pay suppliers overseas. I have a company in Mexico. A lot of you guys know that I invested in a company in Mexico, and so we have all of our call center agents, our developers over there, and so this company charges my US based LLC for their services rendered, right? So there has to be some sort of fund exchange. And so the way I use, the company I use, it's called Zoom, zoom.com. It's actually powered by PayPal, and it works really well. They do charge a fee. Sometimes it's anywhere between $30 to $35, but if you're sending more than $1,000, the fee is actually waived and you get a better exchange rate. So for example, they do have the ability for you to send in their local currency. So in my case, I'm sending pesos, Mexican pesos. So it converts a dollar from dollar to pesos, and I know exactly how many pesos they're going to be receiving, and then it just charges me in dollars how much the pesos need to be. And so you get a better exchange rate, and you get no fee if you're sending above $1,000. Keep just something in mind that the bank account that you're transferring funds to in Mexico, like at least in my case, needs to be approved to receive these types of transfers and receive the funds, because of money laundering, it's very easy for accounts to get blocked. There's a lot of fishy things that could trigger a red flag on the bank. And so if they're saying that a company or someone in the US is sending someone in Mexico money every month, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, then it creates, I guess, some sort of a risk or something. But we've had our transactions blocked several times, but it's just calling the bank, letting them know what we're doing, maybe providing some support evidence, documentation, and then it should be working. But yeah, guys, there you guys have it. These are the 5 ways I use to pay my suppliers. In summary, again, I either pay with a credit card if I can. If they don't, I will be paying through Melio because it's a lot easier, ACH and free. And then if not, I can also use wire transfer, then wire transfer for $5 through Chase, and then zoom.com for my international transfers. So there you guys have it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what's your strategy to pay other suppliers. Hopefully you have a better strategy that you would be willing to share. So again, thank you so much. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.